Hello, this is a live session, the weekend live session from the YouTube channel JK Civil Engineer. So the usual normal routine of the weekend. So today is 31st of July 2021. So it's obviously we're gonna keep it to the same routine. So we're going to discuss the question answers you might have about immigration to the UK, study in the UK, and any other queries you might have about the current situation in the UK. And also, as a topic for today is how to find the tier 2 jobs in the UK. So I'm going to give you a bit of a brief about the different strategies I would like you to discuss with you, basically to share with yourselves. There's lots of question that comes from yourself this week about how to find a job after completion of your studies in the UK. So it's a very hot topic. Obviously, I mean that should be your ultimate goal as well when you come here to the UK for studies. So that should be your ultimate goal, how to find your job. I mean, going into the career sort of side here in the UK. So that's something I need to discuss with you guys as well. But before that, I want to just add the disclaimer here that I'm not an immigration officer or a lawyer. So all information I'm sharing is based on my personal experience and my personal knowledge. So take that as a caution there. Also, you can call me on the WhatsApp number, which I'll added into the live chat there. And you can give me a call there with your question as well. So I said, you can type in your question there as well in the live chat. Also, for your information, I'm live on the Facebook simultaneously there as well. So you can join there as well. So the Facebook page at engineers.civil 2020. So that's the Facebook page. Actually, I'm live there as well. So you can add your question there on the Facebook, and we can have a chat basically. But I will see the questions needs to come through on the live chat there. But as said, I'm gonna just give you a quick brief about the different sort of strategies and different sort of different sort of the things you can do when you go for your job, basically searching, and you start searching for your jobs after well, not after completion. I generally say after completion, but you need to start the process quite early as well. So there are different steps I want you to just keep in mind. I mean, you need to consider when you apply for, when you start applying and planning actually for the tier 2 jobs. So the first one, the first stage or the first step, you need to basically plan your future quite ahead. Identify your niche. I mean, where you want to go basically in your future. So by that I mean, obviously you're coming here for the studies. There's still lots of options available, especially, I mean, if you are coming here for the civil engineering, for instance, MSc in civil engineering. So you have different options, like you can go into the management, you can go into the structure, you can go into project management, environmental. So you have different options there. But it's up to yourself how you find your niche, basically what's your best part amongst all those. So that's where I say it's really important when it comes to finding the job. You need to find where you want to see in the future. So that's really important. Obviously, if you're coming here for the core subjects, for instance, structural engineering, which is a core subject in MSc, obviously that's obvious option for you. I mean, after completion, you need to go for structural engineering, but there are certain other generic sort of studies there, and you need to identify where you want to see in the future. So that's really important for yourself. Identify your niche from the really onset, where you want to see yourself in the future. That's the first step. Obviously, before you applying for the job, I mean, that's where you need to identify yourself, where you need to go basically in the future. The next step, obviously, is not in particular order. So there's a number of steps I want to share, basically what you need to account for when it comes to finding the job. So the next step is obviously identify the companies that can sponsor you for the tier 2. There's a big list actually on the sponsored occupation list, which is on the gov.uk website. And obviously 30 over 35,000 sort of companies. I mean, they are there on the list, but obviously it's not easy to search through all those lists and figure out exactly, especially, I mean, if I'm talking from civil engineering perspective, which one are they, I mean, to sponsor you. Obviously, if you know the market here, if you know the big companies like AECOM, Arup, Atkins, WSP, these are the big names there. Obviously, these must, yeah, sponsor you. Obviously, that they will be there on the list as well. But generally, I say, I mean, to make your life easy, I generally say just search for the, for instance, top 100 consultancy in the UK, or yeah, top 100 contractors in the UK. That will give you the big companies there, and you can match, basically go back into the occupation list. Basically, you can go there basically. So that's how you identify what companies are available to give you the sponsorship basically for the tier 2. This is really important, guys, because you don't want to end up yourself into the company where you have gone through all the process, your application, your interview, you get the job, but ultimately they tells you basically they're not going to sponsor you, so you stuck there. So it needs to make sure you are on the right path from the very onset. So this is the second step. You need to ensure you plan that quite ahead when you apply for the jobs. The next step, actually, you need to consider, make sure you are available on all the platforms at the job portals that are available in the UK. By that I means, like, I mean, obviously the very most important sort of portals we generally use in the UK is the LinkedIn. You need to ensure you have the best sort of profile, the best side of yourself, your career on the LinkedIn. That's really important, because the LinkedIn is used as a professional sort of, yeah, Facebook here in the UK, and you need to make sure you are visible there for the recruitment agencies, for the employer there as well. So this is really important. The other job portals, you need to be visible on the, like, CV Library, Total Jobs, Indeed.com, engineers.net, railwaypeople.com. So there's lots of, yeah, different portals. You need to make sure you don't you restrict yourself to only one or two portals. There's lots of there. Make sure you are available on all the platform. You are, yeah, visible to all the recruitment agencies, to the employer, all the platforms there. um, the next step, obviously very important, is your CV is the way you're selling yourself to the employer, and that needs to be the top notch basically. I generally say you need to ensure you understand the UK requirements, what needs to be put into the CV, and again, I mean, all those information, the standard format, the requirements are on the gov.uk website, gov.uk website. So you can find out exactly what are the requirements, I mean, to be I mean, to make your standard sort of format UK CV. And you need to make sure you stick to the rules basically. That's where you will be identified by the recruitment agencies and by the employer. CV is really, really important, guys, and that's where, if your CV is of the top notch and you apply, basically you upload it on all those job portals are just identified, that's where your better chances are that you will be contacted by the recruitment agencies and by the employer. So CV is really important. The next step, obviously, I say, is these are no in particular order. So the next item, definitely you need to ensure you need to get the 2-1 grades, the least, I would say. Generally, when I see actually the graduate sort of, yeah, jobs advertised, the employer do require the 2-1 degree. 2-1 degree means like between 60 to 70% of your marks basically. So as long you have that sort of 2-1 degree, that means you have opened your horizon to any jobs actually available for the graduates. So you need to target, yeah, your studies. You need to achieve that 2-1 the least actually, and that will actually that will enhance your chances, I mean, to apply for any jobs actually available for the graduates. And I believe, yeah, this is the maximum actually generally the employer, the recruitment agency is looking for. So 2-1 should be your target. And that's where I said, if you target that high sort of range there, 2-1, that mean you have achieved, and you have actually whatever the university is trying to convey to yourself, you achieve those sort of targets, actually the theory side of it, and it will be easy applicable to your practical life basically after finding the job. So 2-1 is a really a massive boost to your job finding as well. Finally, obviously, I generally say don't give up. I mean, it shouldn't be as if like you apply for 1 or 2 jobs and you just wait for them, I mean, to come back. It doesn't work like that. Obviously, the initial stages, you need to try to understand the process and how the process works, obviously. And generally, I say you need to start that processing at least 6 months before your course completion. You should apply for your professional jobs. That it takes quite a long time actually, so you need to understand the process, and going through the initial sort of the interview, which is the phoning interview, the initial introduction with the recruitment agencies. You need to understand that process, and from there on, you need to go forward into the next stage of the interview with the employer. So that's generally the way how it works in terms of the finding the job. But don't give up. Obviously, you need to apply. I generally say you should identify or allocate a specific time, I mean, for to finding a job in the UK basically, and follow up as well. And also, when you apply, make sure you understand the employer's requirement, what they expect you from yourself, and whether you are eligible, I mean, to fulfill those requirements. It's really important. Don't just send a blanket sort of your application, because in that way, I mean, if you just send a blanket application to 20 sort of jobs there, and obviously if 10 or 15 of them are not relevant to yourself, so you'll be thinking in your mind, okay, I've applied for 20, I'm not getting basically any response there. But in fact, that was only 5 that were relevant to yourself, rather than the whole 20. So that's where I said you need to understand what the employee wants from yourself, and that's where you need to ensure you understand the requirement, or whether you can fulfill those requirements as well. And that's where you can apply and tailor your CV, apply for the jobs. That's how you can get about the job. There's no alternative. Generally, the people say you go the other way, or this way, or the other way, because this is the way where I get my jobs as well. Basically, this is exactly the same way what I'm sharing here, and there's no alternative. You need to show your skills, your competency, that you are eligible, you can fulfill the employer's requirement. That's where you're going to get the job. But these are certain steps before you get to that stage, like I mean, achieving the 2-1 grades, looking for the sponsored companies. I mean, that are the requirements there. You need to make sure you fulfill those requirements. And I'm sure the future is not far off from your whatever your goals are. You're coming here, that they are not far off from there. So guys, I mean, that's what I wanted to share, because there was lots of questions that come from yourself about the obviously the jobs, how to find a job with no sort of experience. And generally, I say for the graduates, I mean, we generally call it graduate jobs, and they are available on these job portals I mentioned earlier. And you can search for the graduate jobs, and it doesn't require any sort of experience there. So they are for the fresher if you are completing your degree. So you can go straight into those sort of graduate jobs there. And as said, guys, I would love to see questions, whether that's not just about the tier 2 jobs. Obviously, that was just my topic for today's, because there was question and I wanted to clarify those questions there. So you can throw your questions there, or you can call me on the WhatsApp number there. If you got any questions about whether study in the UK, the current situation in the UK. Obviously, we are moving more and more toward the normality here in the UK. And there will be more opportunities actually within the UK as well, especially for the September session. In fact, there are news around as well, possibly in the next few weeks, I mean, couple of weeks or so, maybe I just say, I'm speculating here, maybe Pakistan, India, that they might be out of the red list as well. So that is the speculation at this time. But there is potential to going that forward as well, actually, in a few weeks' time. And that will be quite good, especially for the September session, because the students that they will keep coming in from the next month, actually, from August, they will start pouring actually coming from overseas. So that would be good. So you can avoid the list, yeah, the mandatory quarantine, the hotel quarantine, even if that goes to amber list, Pakistan, India. You will quarantine here in the UK, but that will be at your own choice. Basically, you can quarantine within your dedicated or your specified sort of home, or you can yeah, basically do the quarantine there. Obviously, amber list, yeah, is no harm because you don't have to pay those hotel quarantine sort of charges. So let's hope for the best actually in the next week or so. I hope, I mean, there will be some more news around actually from the UK government, and there's a potential that Pakistan, India, maybe Kenya. I mean, there's a big sort of a few countries that they've been identified. Maybe they go to the sort of, yeah, the amber list rather than the red list, so they will get rid of the red list, and that's the where I say for especially for the students, it's really a good news. So you can avoid the charges there. So let's see the question from Aishwarya Saline. Scope of job opportunities after MSc in construction project management. Construction project management, obviously that's a part of Celine, that's part of the civil engineering, and civil engineering is basically is in the shortage of occupation list. I would say the future is bright, but in terms of, yeah, finding the job, obviously that's where I started this conversation. To finding a job, you need to go through all those process. I mean, it doesn't mean, I mean, if this is on shortage of occupation list and everyone is going to get the job, obviously that won't be the case. So you need to ensure you follow those guidelines I've shared actually earlier when I started this video. Obviously those guys, I mean, they're joining now. I will upload this video on my YouTube channel as well. You can watch those, all the 6-7 sort of steps I identify basically what you need to go through to find a job, yeah, after completion of your studies or get the tier 2 sort of sponsorship in the UK. So in terms of, yeah, the scope is certainly there for the construction project management. It's just a matter of, yeah, whether you fulfill those requirements actually, what I've already mentioned, if you're following, yeah, this video from the onset. So as long you fulfill those, you are not far off from your future, actually, from your goals. So that's where I would say for the civil engineers, it's really sort of good open market actually for civil engineers. I would just add, yeah, a few more sort of tips, especially for the current situation. They're coming for the September session here, the students. So as I said, I mean, the normality is not far off actually. All the COVID restriction that have been waived off actually within the England, the least I should say, in the Scotland and the Wales, that there are still minor restrictions there, but in a few weeks or so, everything will be back to normal. So we generally don't use even the masks as well. Actually, that's waived off as well. So it's back to normal. All the businesses, they're up and running. So it's really a good session, especially for the September session. All the businesses are up and running. You can avail the opportunity, whether that's a part-time jobs during your studies or whether that's a full-time job after completion of your studies. I mean, that there will be open market for yourselves basically in terms of the opportunities there. But in terms of, yeah, generally the question actually, I'm just reminding myself there were lots of questions about the whether you can work full-time, part-time, yeah, when you study here. So I'll just elaborate a bit about these sort of, yeah, questions as well. So the question actually that came from one of the subscriber was about whether you are restricted to work 40 hours when you're outside the term. So in terms of, yeah, there is obviously the law says basically, somewhere I've read it, and it say, yeah, 40 hours maximum, but actually that's not the limitation. If you're outside the term, for instance, I mean, if you are on a break, I mean, between the terms, you can work, yeah, more than 40 hours, so that there's no as such restriction. Obviously, generally, I've seen people actually, the employees, they're working especially in the sort of security sort of side. I mean, they do work like 12 hours sort of, yeah, shift per day, or 10 hours or 12 hours. So obviously, I mean, when they work out 5 days a week outside the term, that mean, yeah, they work literally 70 hours, yeah, there. So 60 to 70 hours there. So it's no restriction as such, but obviously you need to ensure during the term time, you need need to stick to that 20 hours rule there. So as long you are within the law, you need to make yourself basically I mean, going forward in your future, you need to make sure you stick to the rules. Otherwise, I mean, you'll be caught somewhere down the line. Obviously, there's no directly check and balance on yourself, I mean, when you come here into the UK. But obviously, some way down the line, when you apply for the basically another visa like PSW or Tier-2, there'll be some restriction there, and they will check all your record there. That's where you'll be caught there. So that's really important, guys. I mean, when you do basically whatever you do, make sure you check the rules, regulations. I mean, you are within the laws there. So as long you stick to the rules, that's all you need actually in the UK. So you will be on the right path. Guys, do send the comments actually the in the live chat, any question you might have. And also, if you do actually like the basically the answers what I'm providing, as said, I mean, these are my personal knowledge, my personal experience, what I'm sharing. So if you do like, do press the like button, so I understand actually you are getting the message around. The next question is from Virender Charak. I'm doing diploma in civil engineering and having 9 years of work experience in construction. Right, brother. So what's the question? I didn't get the question. So do ask the question there as well. Obviously, that's a good. You are on the right track actually, civil engineering with your experience. So I don't know what the question is, but as guys, you as said earlier, you got the WhatsApp number. I'm not sure actually. I'm live on my Facebook page as well. You can follow me actually. The guys, I mean, they're watching here on the YouTube. I got the Facebook page at engineers.civil 2020. You can join that Facebook page as well. Actually, currently I'm live there as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, there is I'm not sure if I can see actually any messages there, because I'm new to the Facebook actually. I never use that, so I'm just trying both at the same time. So you can ask me question there on the Facebook as well, whoever is watching there. So you're welcome to the gang. This is just a generally a 1 hour live session on the week or the weekend. So I provide the guidance actually, whatever your question you might have. So this is just the generic sort of subject here I touch upon, and whatever your question you might have, so I generally answer in this question in this session. So whoever is watching, so on the face, especially Facebook, I'm used to the actually the YouTube now, but I'm just looking at, actually I got two cameras on here, one for the Facebook, one for the YouTube. So that's why I'm just shifting myself around. So if you're watching on the YouTube on the Facebook, do ask the question. Actually, I'm not sure how to do that, but I'm sure you're better than me in terms of how to use the platform actually. So guys, I'm learning. I'm learning. Obviously, I'm learning from yourself as well. So you need to teach me. I can give you my experience, whatever I've gained here in the UK. I mean, about my personal, especially civil engineering. I'm good to go in civil engineering, but other than that, IT, I'm really bad in IT actually. So right, the question is, there any news regarding red list? Right, brother. Literally touch upon the red list countries actually currently as we stand. I mean, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Kenya. I mean, these are still on the red list. But the latest you could find out actually on the gov.uk website. Obviously, that should be your Bible to go to. That will identify you exactly who's on the red list. But as I said slightly earlier, there is a potential that the Pakistan, India, Kenya, and some of other countries they may be waived to the amber list in the next week or so. Basically, that is the potential news actually going forward. So obviously, this is not confirmed. Obviously, I don't want to spread the rumors there, but what I've seen actually from different sort of from the Mr. Sharp, actually the secretary in the UK, he identifies some of the countries they might go out to amber list as well. So Pakistan, India is potential there, and that's really a good news, especially for the students. Actually, they're coming for the September session. So we might see in actually the £1,750 generally you would actually go for the quarantine hotel, that would be waived out. I mean, even if that's like Pakistan, India goes into the amber list, still you still have to quarantine, but that would be at your own choice. Actually, you can quarantine within your home or within your family, friends, or within your university. So you can still, yeah, basically go there. But obviously, you don't have mandatory quarantine hotel where you have to pay £1,750. So you can waive those ones actually if they are shifted to amber list, the least I would say. And the potential is, yeah, there actually the queries are there. And I heard, yeah, some news from the UK secretary as well actually. So let's hope for the best actually. Next question is from Puneet Kumar. Hey JK, how can a fresher in India find a junior construction manager job in the UK? A fresher in India find a junior construction manager. Brother, it's literally, I would say, it's not possible unless you come here as a student, Puneet. You come here as a student, and obviously there are options. So one of the option will be, if you come here as a student, you do your studies, like for instance MSc, and then yeah, go into the job later. That's one of the option. If you got no experience and you don't want to come here as a student, the alternative is you need to get lots of experience under your belt before you apply. Not for the junior, in that case you need to apply for the construction manager role basically, once you get enough experience there, and then you can come on the tier 2 jobs basically. That would be the alternative. In terms of guys, I mean, who are joining now, I can see lots of people that are joining now. So I already started actually this session with the tier 2 jobs, how to get a tier 2 jobs after completion of studies, and actually a few steps, about 7 steps I'll identify earlier in this video. This will go actually on my YouTube channel as well after concluding this session. So make sure you rewind this and watch, yeah, the 7 steps, which I believe is really, really important for yourself to get to the job ladder actually in the UK. So make sure you rewind them and watch them as well, how to get onto the tier 2 job. So Puneet, unfortunately, not a straightforward answer to your question there. So that you got the 2 option, as I said. So you have to choose, yeah, at your own. The next question is from Urgent. I'm doing MSc Construction Project Management in Birmingham. So which city is the best for best opportunity for tier 2 job, Birmingham or any other cities? Brother, in terms of which city is the best, in terms of the job opportunity, obviously London is the best. London is like, yeah, the top basically city in the world. Obviously it's lots of opportunities there, but at the same time you would have a lot of expenses. The cost of living there is quite high as well. So you need to see yourself basically, you need to balance yourself. You want to see, if you love the hustle bustle of the London basically, that is the best choice for yourself. Otherwise Birmingham, again, Birmingham is the UK's second largest city, so opportunities are huge there in Birmingham as well, especially for construction project. I would say HS2, actually high speed 2, which literally started, and the conclusion is actually in 2032 for the phase 1. So obviously there will be lots of opportunity, and Birmingham is actually the hub for that HS2. So Birmingham sits there, London there. So it starts from London to Birmingham, actually the rail track, and that goes from Birmingham up to Manchester. So Birmingham sits right in the middle there. So Birmingham acts as a hub for the HS2. That's a huge potential there, and I'm sure, yeah, you can find out lots of opportunities in Birmingham. Birmingham is a big city actually. And in terms of, I mean, I generally say don't restrict yourself to a specific city. Obviously, wherever you get the opportunity, it's just a matter of a couple of hours actually to travel from one city to the other city. Even between Birmingham to London, I would say it only takes 1 hour 20 minutes actually by train. If you jump on the train, 1 hour 20 minutes, you are in the central London. So you don't restrict yourself. And obviously, if you find a job in London, you don't have to stay in Birmingham. Obviously, with HS2, that would be a good opportunity actually. With high speed 2, the distance between actually the travel distance were reduced to 49 minutes actually between Birmingham and London. That would be a great opportunity for yourself. I mean, you can stay in Birmingham, work in the London. That's where the beauty of that HS2 would be. So I hope this helps, brother. And as I said, if you like the response, you do need to press the like button, obviously. So I understand. Yeah, you get the answer there. The next question is from Puneeth Kumar. Thank you for your reply. How about finding internship in the UK from India? Is it feasible? Internship from India, brother, that would be literally impossible, I would say. Obviously, if you're studying in the UK, that there is obviously the opportunity will be there. The employer can see you basically you're studying here, and in terms of internship, is exactly the same how you would do basically to find a job for as a graduate. So there's no difference between internship and the finding the graduate job. And I do generally say basically for especially for those, I mean they're coming for MSc, opt for 1 year MSc. So you don't need to go for internship basically, because you have to go strive for twice actually, one for your internship and the second one after completion of internship. You need to go through the same sort of process to find your graduate job. So it's always good actually to go for 1 year MSc and you are eligible to apply for graduate job, and you run on your future basically there. So in terms of your finding internship from India, brother, I don't see that there's any feasibility, if I'm honest, because from India, the company needs to sponsor you from India, bring you over, and obviously there's lots of costs involved as well. So that's literally not a possibility, I would say, unfortunately. And so alternative, I mean, if you're studying here in the UK, in terms of finding internship is exactly as I said earlier, exactly the same as you would do for the graduate job. I hope that answers your question, brother. Do use the actually the WhatsApp numbers as well. I've added actually on top of the on that chat as well. And those guys, I mean, they're watching on the Facebook page as well. Do involve actually, brothers. This is for yourself actually. This is not for me. So as long, I mean, I get the question from yourself, I can answer you, and I hope that's going to help. That's going to benefit you as well. This is just a 1 hour session, and I got 15 minutes left actually. So we'll be shooting off. Let's see who's next. So Awais Kamran, would you suggest individuals to have a CSCS card in hand even before applying for opportunities of site engineer, or would it be better to check with the a requirement of the employer? You Very good question, actually, always. I generally say actually about the CSCS card, just for those, I mean, who don't know CSCS card, what is CSCS card? So you need this is the health and safety cards actually generally required on the construction site in the UK, and they're most relevant to the building construction. So if you're working in the building side, you would need CSCS card. Otherwise, I mean, if you're working on the railway side, like a railway bridges or railway sort of side, you don't need a CSCS card. Similarly, if you work on the highways, I mean, they got their own specific cards requirements as well. So always, I believe, I mean, you can't choose basically where you will end up yourself into. Obviously, if you are really restricting yourself to the building side, you want to go into the building sort of your construction opportunities there, then yeah, there is basically you can get a worldly CSCS guide beforehand. But generally, I would say leave them to the end. Basically, once you find the opportunity, once the employer is satisfied with your interview, they give you the offer. Generally, the employer help you basically with this, getting the CSCS card. That will help you. What CSCS cards do you need? And in fact, within the CSCS cards, you got a lots of different cards basically for the AQP, like academically qualified person, the sort of yeah the initial sort of trainee, and there's experience, there's skilled worker. So there's lots of different cards available there as well. So I would say the easiest option for yourself would leave it to the end basically. If even if in the interview they ask you make sure you understand, I mean, what the requirements are. Actually, for the CSCS card is health and safety questionnaire, and I do generally upload actually videos on, yeah, similar videos that you should expect in the CSCS card, sort of, yeah, the test. It's a really simple test there, and it shouldn't be a showstopper actually to finding a job for yourself in the construction industry. So I would say ignore that. Obviously, if the employers is keen, I mean, to ask you for the CSCS card, you can always tell them, yeah, I can avail the opportunity if you give me the chance. I can fulfill that requirement. But generally, I've seen the employer provides the CSCS card, the training, and they want you whatever the CSCS card requirement is for the site, so they help you with that. I hope this helps, brother. The next question is from Vicky Vlog. MSc Civil Engineer in the UK as a fresher from India. How can I prepare myself and what are the requirements they ask for a job? Right, brother. How can I prepare myself? Prepare yourself. Make sure you have all your bags ready and get on board actually to come here. That's your preparation. But in terms of, like, I mean, prepare for your MSc. I generally say you need to have the basic knowledge of Euro codes. That's really important, especially for structural engineering, civil engineering. You need to understand the basics there. I don't say, yeah, you need to master them from now on, but at least you understand, yeah, what are actually Euro codes. I mean, what are the different sort of parts of Euro codes, which one you would use with for the steel structure, for the concrete structure, for the masonry. So these are lots of, yeah, parts there. So you just a basic knowledge. Also the software skills, that's really a must, especially for structures and civil engineering. There's lots of softwares available. You need to practice them as well. Just the basic level, I do say, yeah, the basic level, that should fulfill your requirements. For even for the construction project managers as well, I mean, if you can just to practice, yeah, the softwares, that will really enhance your chances actually to adjust to the environment here. Also your communication, English language, sort of, yeah, your barrier, you need to cross that barrier as well. Try speaking English. Yeah, I found actually, especially with Indians, they're really good actually. Their accent and the way they speak English, I really appreciate actually. They're really good. Maybe they're practicing a lot more in India. That might be the reason. But I found it. But the more you practice, obviously, the more it will become easy for you yourself to interact here with the employer, with your teacher, with your lecturers, basically here in the UK. So these are the basic requirements, Vicky. I mean, that's all you should prepare yourself, mentally prepare yourself for that. In terms of the job questions, if you're coming as a fresher, these are exactly what I'm talking about. So that this all will be asked basically within the interview as well. You need to pass your course in high grades, I mean, like 2-1 I mentioned earlier as well. As long you fulfill that requirement there, 2-1, like 60 to 70 percent sort of marks. I mean, if you fulfill that, generally the taught courses, especially the MSc courses, are really the practical sort of, yeah, side, I mean, they covers, so they will be directly relevant to your practical jobs as well. So that's where I said, if you fulfill the 2-1 sort of degree there, that means you understood all the theory there. So it will be just a matter of applying those theory into the practice basically. So that's really important if you fulfill those requirements. And these are the general requirement in terms of like a software skills. Some your hard skills will be basically about your bending moment, shear forces, obviously as a civil structure engineer, reactions, some basic knowledge about the service leveling. I mean, that should do your job basically. And also, actually, I've started this video with the same theme, actually, how to find a job after completion of your study for the tier 2 job. So you can rewind them. I will upload this video after conclusion of this session, so you can rewind them and have a look basically the 7 steps I've identified earlier on, and I'm sure that's going to help you down the line. And if you are satisfied, make sure you press the like button. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe the channel. And also, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm live actually on my Facebook page as well, which is at the rate of engineers.civil 2020. So I will add actually my Facebook page there in the live chat as well. Make sure you visit that as well. And I try to actually, because there are lots of people there as well. Actually, they want a help, so I want to basically engage both the Facebook community and the actually the YouTube at the same time. So currently I'm live on my page there as well, actually on the Facebook. So you can press the like there as well. And if you got questions, you can use the YouTube, you can use the Facebook their page as well. So I generally respond, yeah, through there. Right, the next question is from Danish Kazmi. In case Pakistan will stay in red list, then how can I avoid quarantine charge? Can I fly from Pakistan to Amber list, then reach UK? Kindly share your experience. Stay blessed, you sir. Uh, Danish cards. Obviously, experience. When you say experience, I haven't experienced myself, so for sure, yeah, I haven't been out actually during the COVID situation. Obviously, I know the situation is not good actually dealing with all these different rules regulations. So I stayed away from them, but I know the rules actually. So if Pakistan is still in the red list, yes, that there is an option actually to go to the amber list country, stay there for 10 days. That's what you need actually. So the rules say you need to be in the last 10 days. If you are not in the red list, then you don't have to quarantine. Well, the hotel quarantine, I should say. So you can avoid that hotel quarantine by going into the amber list country there. We stay there for 10 days and then come here to the UK, and that you can avoid that quarantine sort of hotel quarantine. But still with amber list countries, you still have to fulfill the other requirements, like you still have to quarantine within your home basically. You still have to do the passenger locator form, the two tests you need on the second and 8th day of your arrival. That still stays the same actually for amber countries. So there's no waived on that one, but the least you can avoid the hotel quarantine charges, which is £1,750. So that is an option, brother. uh, my experience, so I haven't experienced personally, but I know the rules. Yeah, the rules allows that actually you can go into the amber list there, and you can travel here. But as mentioned earlier, there is actually potential Pakistan will go into the amber list in next few weeks. Again, yeah, I'm speculating this. I've seen actually, I've came across a few articles by the Mr. Sharp, yeah, the UK secretary, and he mentioned actually the travel secretary, and he mentioned about, yeah, India, Pakistan, Kenya. I don't recall Bangladesh, but yeah, there were quite a number of countries. They may shift to amber list. So there's let's hope for the best actually. So in the next few weeks, might be we are waived actually. Pakistan, India will be waived from the red list. Uh, right. The next question is from Rebel Abraham. Hi, can you please advise the possibility of students with less than 6 months course duration traveling to UK with the visitor's visa? Uh, Brother, I'm pretty certain about the rules that it's the long-term sort of students that can come from the red list countries. So for 6 months, so that comes as a short course. And I believe, well, you can double check that on the gov.uk website. Obviously, I don't want to mislead you, but I believe the 6 months comes as a short duration course, and they are not allowed from the red list countries. But might be in the next, just wait for a week or two, might that they change to the amber list your country, and you might be able to travel. But as far I know the rules, I believe 6 months with the 6 months course, and from the red list you won't be allowed. But please do double check, yeah, your requirements, yeah, with the on the gov.uk website as well basically, so that will guide you more. So guys, thank you very much. I didn't receive actually a single call today. That's quite strange actually. So I'll add in my link actually on the top of this chat, and I was expecting a few calls today. I didn't receive any. So let's see if oh, Anuj, I don't know what's wrong with my phone. Maybe Actually, I did get a slight nudge, a nudge. Oh yeah, I did miss it. Right, okay. No, I did miss quite a few calls. Possibly, yeah, that was on a silent. My apologies, actually. So that was there was a call from Vignesh as well. So Anuj, my apologies. Yeah, that I missed that calls. Actually, it was on a silent. My apologies. Yeah, that's the schoolboy errors actually. But thank you very much, guys. I hope you have received the actually what I wanted to convey today. Uh, I hope I've covered your questions there as well. And as said, actually, at the start of this session, I've started off with the how to find a tier 2 jobs actually in the UK. There's 7 steps I've added. Actually, I've explained actually what you need to get into. Yeah, those 7 steps to avail actually opportunity as a tier 2. Obviously, these are like the standard requirements, but you should be aware of, but make sure you understand them and plan your way towards the tier 2 quite in advance there. So that's the main sort of idea. Basically, don't let it go to the last minute basically for the completion of course. You don't need to go to that last minute stage. So you need to prepare from the very onset, when even when you're choosing the course like from abroad. That's where you need to start basically plan yourself there. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel. Also my Facebook page at engineers.civil 2020, you can like them as well. And if you got any question, as always, you can ask them in on my YouTube channel, you can ask on the Facebook. I'm also available on the WhatsApp groups. I generally add the the groups actually into the description of the videos as well. You can join them there as well. If you want to actually pay for the paid membership actually to arrange the one-to-one session, you can do so. Obviously that will be specific to your requirements, like I mean what you need you about your career appraisal, I mean what you want to see yourself about your CV writing, Joe, specific to your requirements, Joe, finding in the UK. We can discuss those sort of opportunities for yourself, but that's specific up to yourself basically. If you're keen on that, you can join them as well. Actually the link generally I added on my description, video description, so you can join them as well. But with that note, thank you very much guys for those who raised the questions, and I hope you have the best of the days today and enjoy your rest of the day here, and I hope to see you sometime next week. Thank you very much.